What's up, everybody? This is Matthew, and I'm back with another edition of the Scent Spotlight. In this week's Spotlight, I talk with Gold Key. We talk about his shockingly short path to becoming a graphic designer, as well as the amazing community on Scent for other artists and creatives. I hope you really enjoy this conversation. I did, and Scent on. All right, man. So now we're live on the Scent Spotlight. I'm here this week with Gold Key, who's probably the dopest Scent fan artist I've seen in a while. And just
Thank you.
So I'll start this off with the question that I ask all the Scent Spotlight guests. In as many or as few words, tell everybody who Gold Key is.
Wow, that's a great question. So I like to define myself as a visual artist. Like, I don't like to say I'm a graphic designer, even though I do graphic design. I don't like to say I'm a photographer, even though I do photos. I like visual artists because it's very broad, and I love to kind of mesh all of the mediums that I play around with and bring it to the world and hopefully inspire people and kind of share a radical view of our reality.
That's dope. So when did you find your passion for art and design? Is that something that you found recently, or is that something that's always been with you throughout your life?
Yeah. So growing up, the last thing I would say was that I was creative. I had terrible handwriting, and then, trying to draw and paint, it was just like such a no for me. My discovery of graphic design kind of came through a need to be the CMO of a startup that I launched 4 years ago. So opened up some graphic design apps and just kind of dove in. I'm very perfectionist. And so for me, it was just such an alignment with being able to have things be perfect is where it kind of started out. Slowly, I started exploring other mediums. Like, I started out with graphic design, and then I needed to start doing photos for the startup and then video. More recently, I've been messing with motion graphics. I don't know if you believe this, but I actually never made any gifs or motion graphics like you see on Scent before Scent. I was inspired by seeing other people make those. And so I literally just taught myself how to work with After Effects. So the stuff that's on Scent is actually kind of my first work. So
Are you serious?
honestly, the Scent community is the best community that I've ever seen. Like, even my close friends on Instagram don't engage with anything I create. Like, that's just been kind of really pushing me forward as an artist and been really inspiring.
So you really didn't go into like design and the graphic element until 4 or so years ago when you started that startup as a CMO. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm sure, as you know, we were chatting about this before, like, titles are kind of hairy in the early days of a startup. So I was wearing a lot of hats, but my background was in sales. So I kind of put that hat on first, and then we needed, a lot of marketing stuff. So my first experience with graphic design was actually a website building tool called Wix. Very easy to use, kind of allowed me to play around with building compositions on websites, just kind of drag and drop. And that's kind of where I learned to play around with things. My next platform after that was Sketch, which is kind of a simplified version of Illustrator. It's got all your powerful tools, but not as crazy of a workspace. So that allowed me to kind of dive into more freestyle graphic design and learning about colors and composition. And then learning all the Adobe suites has been a project in itself. It's definitely the most complicated, and it's kind of intimidating, but as you learn, that just you can't match it on the power and what you can make. So it's been about 4 years now, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. I've never been more passionate about anything in that alignment with just who I am. It's been really, really awesome.
Wow, you totally just filled me with all the hope in the world. So, well, first off, I also have been a person with lifelong, just atrocious handwriting. Also, I personally don't consider myself creative at all. Sort of similar with your experience, not going into the design part, but breaking out into like podcasts and editing audio and stuff like that. That perfectionist part of me is also a trait I guess I share with you. And I'm pretty much just about going to download all those tools that you had mentioned and start dabbling in this stuff. Actually, I was really inspired by your post the other day about how to post really crisp GIFs on Scent. I think that probably anyone else listening to this would hopefully feel as inspired as I do.
Yeah. I'm glad it inspires you. And I do want to say that, one, the podcast has been super dope and awesome quality, and the people you've had on have crushed it. But I would encourage you that is an art in itself, and the writing as well. Like, more so, like, the podcast really getting on and talking to people. Maybe even got to throw in some video there too, and do some video vlogging as well. But yeah, like I just encourage you to keep creating those, because yeah, they're really inspiring and awesome work.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and I think the video aspect is for sure the next iteration. So my next question is more generalized about the crypto space. What was your path to crypto, to Cent? And then the follow-up to that would be, what have you been doing in the crypto art space with your artistic sensibility and your graphic design prowess?
So my introduction to crypto was through my co-founder, who's probably the smartest guy that I know. He's still very much in it, and I would love for him to get on your podcast. He's very intelligent on dynamics of crypto, but he's on the like ideology of crypto as well. And it's just like, when he talks about it, it's very inspiring. So he got me into it, end of last year. And we were actually trying to incorporate a utility token into our social platform. So we're learning on the fly about crypto. And then he got really into trading, and he's been teaching me how to trade Bitcoin. So yeah, that's been my experience. And I'm just trying to learn every day. I think just like all of us, the more we know, the more we can contribute to kind of the conversation and where that goes. And now that, Cent is the first platform that I consistently use crypto, you guys have done a beautiful job of just making it so easy, and just, it's almost like you don't even think of it as crypto, which I think is beautiful. I'm just now learning about the crypto art space. So trying to learn how to sell my art with NFTs and checking out a few different platforms. It's all pretty brand new to me, but it's such an exciting space to see a use case for crypto that is very close to me, which is creating beautiful art.
That's awesome to hear. And I can't wait for you to publish about the NFTs and the crypto art that you make. I'll be probably one of the first ones to scoop those pieces that you start sharing, and for sure.
Awesome.
Have you minted any crypto art yet? Or are you still in like the process of figuring out which site to publish on, or are you still in the application?
Yeah, so I'm still researching and figuring it out. It's really interesting to me, just, that ownership piece when you do sell something. And so that's been kind of what I've been investigating the most. It's such an interesting space, because as an artist, you hold your art so tight to you. They're like your babies, And so I think this is such a great exercise for crypto to see how it deals with a valuable asset, kind of merging those two worlds. But yeah, still in the research phase, but I hope to in the next month be launching and monetizing that. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, for NFTs in particular, whenever anyone gets exposed to it, they're learning about this digital rarity, this digital ownership, and then this amazing potential for composability. I just feel like those are going to be some of the crypto Lego building blocks of the future for some of like the best, most amazing, mind-blowing stuff, including your future art. So I'm super stoked.
Yeah. And your guys' podcast, you and Rizzle killed that. Like, so many of the questions I had, you guys were discussing. So really appreciate, and shout out Rizzle, keeping it real. So yeah, keep it up.
And then, well, you mentioned the Cent community earlier, and there's so many amazing people here. That's one of the reasons why I fell in love with the platform way back in the day as well. It's just, there's something about this combination of anonymous interaction coupled with that financial incentive that I feel like really helps bring out the thoughtful side of a lot of people. But outside of Rizzle, who's also amazing, do you have any other Sentients that enjoy the work or feel like they're awesome people? Do you have any Sentients that you track?
Yeah, so Mighty Moose has been really supportive lately, and we've just been engaging back and forth. I don't know how to say his name, but like, is it Conchi?
Chachi.
Chachi. It's Chachi, yeah. But yeah, Connie for sure is pushing everything forward, and the stuff they're doing just for all artists in general, and just pushing the boundary. It's like they're on another level. Let's see. I've got like a few people like James W. Regardless has been super dope. I'm trying to collab with Syncus, so we might be posting some new art. Joel's been cool as well. But yeah, like you were saying, that the Sync community and the bounty post, it just been the most thoughtful, engaging response, which my love language is affirmation. And it's like, as an artist, it's so hard sometimes. So being in a place where there's a community that's really looking at your art and giving feedback and having real discussions about everything, it's been awesome. So,
And then getting towards the end of this, I always love asking my guests this, but if there are any changes that we could make to Scent that would make it just a better place for you as a creative, what would those changes be?
So I want to see Scent grow. Like I want to see Scent be bigger than any social platform that's ever lived. I feel like some form of like a referral program. And I don't know, you guys are the builders and you would think through this more, but I want to incentivize people that I'm telling about to like jump on Scent. So whether that's a form of bounty post that when they create an account, it's like, boom, they've already, say I did like a spotlight of an artist that's outside of Scent and created like a bounty post, and then people contribute. And then it's like, when you hit that person, I'd be like, hey, you've got an account and you've already have $20 that people have just given you because they want you here. I think that would be so cool because I just want to see more and more people get on here and just experience how awesome the community is in the platforms.
Yeah, to wrap up, number one, is there any other sentient that you'd like to see spotlighted? And then if there's anything out, any projects or anything you want to shout out or promote, do your thing.
Yeah, so Mighty Moose has some project that he's teasing right now, so looking forward to that. Another sentient no shot, the renders that he's been making, that's one space that I've teased and played around with like Cinema 4D and 3D graphics, but just those trophies he was making, like they're crazy. So I think a no shot spotlight, if he hasn't been on already, like that would be super rad.
I'll make that happen.
For sure.
And then do you have any projects or anything on your end that you want to promote before we wrap this up?
No, man, just like my project is my Scent account, my profile. And so if you guys want to see the latest art, I'm always sharing to my Scent profile. So come check me out.
Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, man. I hope that this is a fun thing for you to do too. And I can't wait to keep watching you grow and develop and just create dope art on the platform.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for having me in the time.
Check you later. Bye.
Bye.